Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
Where today we thought we'd talk about the dead game.
There's a lot of them.
The dead game. Drake, what is a dead game?
It's a game that is no longer supported or given attention by its creator.
That's right. So there's a lot of dead games. The thing that got me thinking about this, obviously, most recently, is Warcry.
Yep.
Hasn't it actually been announced that it's dead? Right, but nothing's gone on with it for
years.
Quite some time. And so then the question is, all right, what's stopping you from playing a dead game?
Nothing.
Okay, so I think that's the first point that I think needs to be made. You know, every board game basically is a dead game.
Yeah.
Right? You get the board game, and not just like Darkwater, but I mean real board games. But I mean, like, you know, Settlers of Catan or Ticket to Ride or
Mansions of Madness.
Yeah.
Just look at the board game wall.
Yeah. Any of those games, I'm trying to think of ones people have probably heard of before. Any of those games are good, but they're dead basically at the moment of creation. And the idea is there's still 30 plays in that box, 50 plays in that box. I mean, looking at Settlers of Catan, I have over 100 games of that played. And now sometimes board games will come out with an expansion.
Yep.
Right? So it's not entirely dead or unsupported, I guess, right? Because more stuff's coming out. But that's the exception. And even then, the stuff that comes out is large gaps, right? It's not like, ooh, every quarter you get something new. Ooh, this time they're spicing this aspect up. Ooh, this time they're layering on this other thing over here. Nah, that doesn't happen. It's like usually you get a game and there's no expansions. And if there is, there's one, or if it's very successful, two, or sometimes more. Like big expansions that add a bunch of stuff, and then it's like,
we're done. Hands off, dead game again.
So I think that's the first point, is nothing's stopping you. So if you like playing Warcry, if you and your friends enjoy it, and the thing about Warcry is it's so interesting. One of the things I loved about Catan is what got me into board games initially. Yeah. Because before that, all you play is like Parcheesi and Monopoly and stuff, and they're all terrible. Or at least the way you play Monopoly, that you've been taught to play Monopoly is terrible.
Is there a proper way to play Monopoly?
Yeah, no one plays Monopoly by the rules. And if you play it by the rules, it's supposedly not that bad. I have too much trauma with Monopoly, so I'm not going to go back and figure it out. But that is what I've heard. That's the rumor that's been
spread.
Just as a quick example, as a quick aside, the rule of Monopoly is once you land on a property, you either buy it or it goes up for auction. So just because you land on it, you decide I don't want to buy it, and then I could buy it. Or you land on it, then we do an auction, and I don't have that much money, so you get it for a cheaper price because you win at auction rather than buying it for the list price. And when you do that, all the properties on the board get bought up way quicker. And so that takes, part of the reason the game sucks is because it's how long it is. And that drastically reduces the time of the game, right? There's a lot of stuff like that. We won't get that. This is not the Monopoly video. No, this is not the Monopoly video. But I think what's important is Catan, why would I say is the reason Catan got me into games is because every time you play Catan, the board comes out different, right? So it's got an unbelievable number of iterations and variations, and every time you play, different resources are going to be scarce or plentiful, and you have to sort of play around that, right?
Yeah.
And Warcry has a similar mechanic in that it's got like
a lot of variability.
30 missions in it. The base game, I mean. It's got like 30 missions all on its own. And then each of the big expansions adds like 20 more.
That you can mix in.
Exactly. And it's got all kinds of different terrain setups, right?
Yeah.
So the replayability, like you're never going to play the same game of Warcry twice. Right? Warcry?
Yeah.
You're never going to play the same game twice, right? So it's going to have that variability. So board games can have that. Warcry certainly has that. And so if you like playing Warcry or any other dead game, no one's stopping you.
Yeah.
Right? The police aren't going to come and be like, hey,
what you doing?
That game's dead.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Bury it.
Put the chalk line around it.
Yeah.
No, that's not what's going to happen. But at the same time, many people feel, and I certainly feel this as well, that once a game is dead, it's less enticing to play. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah, probably.
I feel that way. And even though you can play it, Nothing's stopping. And if you enjoyed it before, just because they announced there's not going to be any more expansions doesn't mean you can't play what you already have.
Yeah.
The fun shouldn't lessen at all. And yet I still feel myself
not wanting
less. I mean, I could still play it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. So I like Far Cry a lot. So I would still play it. But it's less enticing. It's like it doesn't jump out at me as, oh, that's one of the games we should play. Why do you think that is?
Just because it's like, you know what it is. There's nothing exciting or new coming. It's just like, yeah, it's that.
I think that's true. But isn't that also true for board games? I mean, how many times have you played War of the Ring with me?
Dozens.
Lots, right? Yeah. And it's the same every game.
Yeah.
In fact, it has no randomized setup, right? Now, there is randomness in the game and that there's cards to draw and dice to roll and stuff like that.
Yep.
But the setup's the same. The objectives are the same. The strategies are largely the same. And yet it's still awesome.
Yeah.
So how come Warcry is less enticing, but War of the Ring isn't?
That I cannot tell you.
Really?
No.
So I have my theory. And I don't know that this is I think it's probably a little bit sinister. But I think it's the games as service model, right? In the old days, in the long ago, you went to the store to Toys R Us. Toys R Us. I was a Toys R Us kid. Toys R Us is gone before Drake came.
I'm a Warhammer kid.
You're a Games Workshop kid.
Yeah.
You go and you buy your game, like you buy Mega Man, Super Mario Brothers, whatever, right? And you would get the game, and then you'd put it in your console at home, and you'd play it. And that was it. And the game company made money by selling you the game.
Yep.
That's how they made money. More and more, though, you buy the game, and then the company's like, okay, and after that, we'll sell you
cosmetics.
DLC. Yeah, we can sell cosmetics. Or we'll sell you different guns. Or we'll sell you season passes. So you have to pay money every season for a bunch of updates we're going to do to the game and different events and things. And that way, every season is different. But that way, the game company makes money every year, right? Or however many seasons they have in a game, two seasons, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, whatever it is. But it's like it's an ongoing stream of revenue.
Yeah.
And a lot of gamers hate that because they're like, I already bought the game. Don't make me spend more money.
Yeah.
Because now this game that I thought was $60,
it's $5 million.
It's $500. I wouldn't have bought it if I knew it was going to cost me $500 for this stupid game, right? And so I feel like there's definitely some antipathy. But you know what? You know what though?
What though?
Here's the secret. The secret. Game companies wouldn't do it if it wasn't profitable.
Yeah.
And why is it profitable?
Because enough people do it.
Because people want it. People are like, I love this game. I love it so much. I'm investing as much time or energy or money or whatever into it that when somebody says, ooh, you can have that same experience, but in a little bit different way, we're going to tweak it a little bit different way. It's like, ooh, I do want that. And yes, it's a bummer that I have to pay more money for that, but I do want that. Yeah. I do want that. And so I think it starts to train people that games shouldn't be a single box experience that gives you, however many hours of gameplay, and then you put it on the shelf and it's done. Games should be this ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Right? So just like any video game that does that, I think that Games Workshop in particular, not all miniature companies do this, but I think Games Workshop in particular sort of trains you to feel like, all right, now we're going to come out with this expansion with new terrain and new teams by that season pass. Oh, now we're going to come out with this one. So every quarter,
they've marketed it for plastic toys.
Yes, I think that's exactly what they did. I think every 6 months, every quarter, whatever it is, it's like, here's your next drop. Spend your money. Here's your next drop. Spend your money.
New GHB, new edition.
Oh yeah, they do it with everything. For sure.
Figured it out.
They're definitely doing the churn is unreal. But when it comes to a dead game, I think that the reason it's less enticing to play is because part of what was exciting about it to begin with
is that it's recognized by the company.
No. I actually don't think that's super exciting at all. I think part of what's exciting is that it's going to be modified. When you get it, you're like, ooh, I'm going to play this for now, but I'm going to be playing something a little different in a few months. And then I'm going to enjoy that, and then I'm going to play something a little different in a few months. So what you're buying is ongoing experiences. And I think it's the same way. There's tons of games, shooter games and stuff that are tons of MMOs, massively online, that had a lot of success early on. And then the updates sort of stop and the game developers start to move on or sort of gets into maintenance mode, and then the player base crashes. Right? It happens all the time. And I think it's because what people are buying is not just the game in the box, although that too. You're buying the promise of new. And as soon as that promise stops, could you still play those games? Yeah. I mean, there's some games where the server shut down, you can't play them, but that aside. But yeah, you can still play Warcry. But I think it makes sense for a lot of players, myself included, when you're just, the excitement, the enticingness of it, the desire starts to wane. Starts to wane when you're not getting those new experiences. Now, again, you have the stuff. You can still play it. Right? And in Warcry's case, there's a gajillion setups and a gajillion scenarios. And one of the things that's really nice about it is the game lasts like 45 minutes, maybe. So if you end up with a scenario that's, sort of favors one side or the other, one, those can be very fun. But two, he's like, okay, I only lost 45 minutes. I'll go back to, we can do it again. We'll just reset it and we'll play again with something that's more fair. Whereas in something like Age of Sigmar, you're in for the long haul. That's a 2 hour, 2.5, 3 hour game you're playing. And if you end up randomly selecting something that's hard, it's gonna be a day.
Right off the board.
It's
right off the board.
Just concede immediately.
Go.
So anyway, I think that's why dead games can seem less exciting to play. I don't think they have to. I think they can be still really cool and fun. And if you like them, keep doing it. But I think a lot of people, in the commentariat, in the YouTubes, on the Reddits, everything, they give people a lot of grief for feeling like, oh, you foolish mortal, you still have the game. There's no reason not to play it. It's only dead if you call it dead. And while there is some truth to that, I think that what people are enjoying is the evolving experience. Like in Age of Sigmar, it's sort of cool to be like, hey, remember when the Night Haunt used to be like this? Then remember when Morathi's character moved like this, and then she became a god, and then her, she stopped becoming one or the other. She was both on the same table. And so people like that you're building in sort of memories over time. Right? You're building in, it's like self-nostalgia almost, right? And once the game is dead, once it's no longer supported, that aspect of it at least is gone. I think that's what's dead. That's the dead in a dead game. So all that to say, I don't think it's unreasonable or improper to say, I'm not really looking to play that because you were enjoying or anticipating a different experience. And I think both people can be right. You can still play the game. It's still just as good as it ever was, but it's only as good as it ever was. It'll never
be better.
Or be different. Or be different.
Yeah.
Well, let us know in the comments below your thoughts. Do you play any dead games? I know there's people out there that have like old favorites from the 90s they still play because it was just so much fun or whatever.
PvZ Garden Warfare 2 for me.
God.
Not really.
Not from the 90s. No, yeah.
From early 2000s, but.
That's from Drake's 90s. So, but let us know in the comments below your thoughts. Do you play dead games? And does it make sense that dead games are less exciting to play? Not unplayable at all, but less exciting. This has been another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
Thanks so much for watching.